Alright guys, so what we need to do to install the reverse lockout is we need to chop off the original reverse lockout. So here we have the original one, right? And you need to turn around and you need to cut it off right here. Okay, so you need to cut it right there. So all I did was I just got a Sawzall blade and I hacked it up right there and I cut it off just like that. Okay, this is now, well, garbage, and what you're left with after it's cut off is just the bottom piece, and that's the piece that you need. Alright guys, so after you cut this bad boy off, you have this and you have this. It'll just slide in. Okay, so you just make sure slides in, should line up. Now it's adjustable to however you want it to be, but that's the sole purpose of that. So after you take everything off inside your shift boot and everything, the first thing you want to do is actually put the shift boot on. And this is a pain in the butt, but I make it tight just like the stock one so that everything works and looks as clean as possible. So you just work the shift boot over. I have an aftermarket one. It's a little bit harder because I had my guy make it really tight. And you just turn around and make sure that it lines up nice. It's in there. It's nice and tight. Clean it up if you have any fabric sticking out or anything. And then there you go. Looks nice, clean. It's not going anywhere. First few times you put it on, it is a pain in the ass. Alright, so now we'll go to the install of the physical reverse lockout onto this piece. Alright, so to start the installation, first you get your stock piece, slide it on. There you go. You see how it makes that sound? I don't like that. And because this reverse lockout was all metal, it also resonates. So then, the only fix that I found so far is to put just regular electrical tape, wrap it around once with a little bit of an overlap, and that'll turn around and it'll help reduce it. It won't get rid of it, but it'll help reduce it. Then you take this, make sure your set screws are unscrewed, and slide it over top. It'll get a little bit firm now because of the tape, and I just twist it in the direction of the tape. Okay, there you go. So now it's sitting there. Me, I like to line up the stitching to face this way, not this way. So that's just me, but you have to remember, if you have an aftermarket boot, when you do that, you have to install it properly, because there's only 3 clips, the front one and the 2 bottom ones. So that's just me, personal preference when I got my shift boot. So now everything is there. You have to turn around. You could just tighten this, the 2 set screws, but you have to ensure that the reverse lockout is going to work. So you take your shift knob. There's a spring. Don't put the spring in. You take your shift knob and screw your shift knob on and tighten it. Now on this one, you can see that there's a little bit of a gap. Just a little. So all you're going to do is you're going to lift this up, and then you're going to tighten the set screws so that it sits perfectly like that. Okay? So I'm just going to try. I only have 2 hands, and I need like 5 here. So I'll do that. So now I'm just going to hold it in place and take my Allen key, and just going to tighten it just a little in the front and just a little in the back. You can put the set screws on the side, doesn't matter. This is just how mine sits. Okay? So hopefully that turned out, and that's golden. So We can see here, the reverse lockout is there. Goes up nicely. Check to make sure that it works. Reverse lockout, clutch in, everything dynamite. So now you turn around and you tighten these just a little more to make sure that if you do them really tight, you'll squeeze the plastic, and then the plastic will squeeze onto the shifter rod. And if that's something that you want, go right ahead. I just do them a little tight, and that's that. I've been running this now for 2 months, the same one, but I test every single one on my car to make sure that they work perfectly. So I've been mucking up my plastic piece. But if you want, turn around and use some Loctite. It'll make sure that the set screws don't come out. But if the set screws do, it's no big deal. You just won't be able to go in reverse. You just turn around, take the shift boot off, and retighten them. All right? So there we go. Everything is money. Works 100%. You'll now take the shift knob off. If you have one of mine, don't drop it. Nice and slow. You'll then take your spring. The spring fits right in there. You don't need the washer. I made it so that you didn't need it. Okay? That's just for ease. Put the spring in. Put your shift knob back on. Put it in. Twist down. Nice and tight. Look at that. Works perfectly. Now all you're going to want to do is put your shift boot back in. Have fun trying to attach it. Takes me about 2 minutes. And then there you go. Everything's honky-dory. Pretty simple installation. I use the stock piece there because to machine that, you need a milling machine or a CNC lathe that could go around all those corners. So to save time, money for you guys, the customers, that's why I turned around and did that. A new one of these, the whole assembly in plastic, is like $30 from Toyota. If you want to sell your car, I just leave it on there. You know, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, put the shift boot clip back in, and then there you go. You got yourself a pretty nice reverse lockout, fully customized.